Welcome back and over to this hour's Spotlight. Our focus tonight is on Pride. Pride right across the country, from the celebrations to the ongoing conversations about change, equality, and inclusivity. The dial is being moved, but much more needs to be done. To talk more about this, Patrick Massey joins me now. Patrick's a Canadian country musician. He's also a huge advocate for the LGBTQS plus rights. Patrick, it's great to see you.
Good to see you, Angie. Do you recognize my hat? This was the hat I wore the first time we were on for Pride.
I do. So talk to me about Pride and what Pride means to you.
Well, Pride to me means acceptance, and that we have an opportunity to be who and how we are, which is, in my opinion, why we were put on this planet. And I think that, as you know, I've mentioned it many times, I think that's every human being's birthright, is to be who and how they are. And I'm not sure when countries or territories or states or provinces became dictators of that. So I'll fight till I'm not here to make sure that everybody has the right to be who they are. And I think Pride's an opportunity to celebrate that. And as much as it's a together moment, it's an individual moment for people.
And in that fight and what you've seen and what you've been doing over the years, we're pushing the dial forward. Are you seeing some of that change? Are you getting a sense that we are making a difference? There is a difference that's being made?
I think we've obviously evolved a lot, but there is a manufactured culture war going on right now against the queer community specifically, I feel, with they're not targeting a drag queen or a queer performer or a trans person. It is very difficult to know where we're going to end up, but we have to keep bringing these stories and talking about how important it is to have festivals like this and have Pride Month, because if we don't, then people seem to think everything's okay. But there's still a lot of challenges ahead of us. And I think that and I've mentioned this to you before, I feel like people that are not from communities have to start standing up for communities that are marginalized. And it can't always be the First Nation standing up for their causes in there, or the BIPOC community. It's got to be other people standing up and taking on some of this, because if one person's being mistreated, then aren't we all?
Over the course of the month, as you say, that there's a number of opportunities then for people to be able to show their support, for people to learn. Talk to us, if you can, about some of the events that you know that are going to be taking place, different provinces, across the country. I know there's an event that you were involved in that unfortunately isn't taking place, but there's others that you're going to be involved in. Yeah,
I was actually going to do one in Toronto with you. You're going to co-host it with me, but we are going to do that next year, the Inclusive Music Artist Showcase. But there is the Pure Pride 18th anniversary in Calgary on September 2nd. And we've got some of the Ruse Queens there. There's Sasha Kobe and Latrice Royale, Lilith Fair, and Argentina Haley Lawrence. She was going to be on with us previously. And so it's a cool opportunity, I must say, because as a live performer within my own community, we don't often get the opportunities. It's not always as inclusive for live performers. So I have a lot of gratitude to Dale Albert for bringing me on this show. I'm going to be co-hosting it with Lilith Fair, and it should be a fun night. And then there's stuff going on. Obviously, Pride in Toronto is happening. There's so many Prides now. It's so wonderful to see. And there's I love the big ones, but I love some of the small ones, like I did Lethbridge, there, and like Smithers. There's lots of different communities that are celebrating and see the importance of having a Pride festival. And there is an importance still, just much like, this is the Indigenous History Month, right? The national. And so
we were just showing our viewers some pictures of an event that you were at in support of murder and missing Indigenous women and girls, and putting that voice forward in collaboration with June. Before I let you go then, Patrick, talk to me about that and that importance and that awareness.
Well, as I mentioned to you previous, my aunt and my cousins were from the Squamish Nation, so that was a big part of my young upbringing, and I am astounded at the amount of specifically women and girls that are Indigenous, but how many Indigenous people are missing in this country, and nobody is talking about it, or not enough. So as you know, I try to use my voice, and I went to the Red Dress there was an opportunity to go to see that, and I was overwhelmed. And there was two, Jamie and Brittany, and their stories moved me to tears. So I said, how can I help? And I they meet every Saturday at the Bat. It's a big, huge bat here in Edmonton, and they bring awareness to the missing and murdered and exploited Indigenous women and girls. And so no more stolen sisters, no more stolen brothers. So I'm doing what I can to help out there, and just to make sure that these people are not forgotten or missed, because they're missed and they matter.
Absolutely.
You know?
Patrick,
So
thank you for this. We're going to talk more, of course, about what you're doing and about the month of June and how significant that is. But I always appreciate you giving me the time. Patrick Massey, Canadian music musician, LGBTQS plus advocate as well. We'll talk again soon, Patrick.
thank you for the opportunity, as always, Angie. Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride. Take care.